This situation looked very fascinating. I originally saw Papa Gut cover it at first. It is the Roman Hawke stuff that's been going on TikTok. Papa Gut was how I first found out about it, and I am curious. Admittedly, this could be like a nice little different thing. I feel like I've been doing a lot of Twitch drama lately with Ludwig, Call Me Carson, and like all these other people like Pirate Software. So having some TikTok slop, this is a decent palate cleanser. Basically, a little bit of background on the Roman Hawke situation is essentially, from what I saw, they were, because they're non-binary, they are a furry on TikTok. Bear with me here. They're a furry on TikTok. Apparently, they do OF for a living, and they've done OF for a while. I believe they were doing OF when they first turned 18 as well, when they were allowed to legally anyways. So, for obvious reasons, of course. Yeah, and they had this pet. Was it like a lizard or a bearded dragon? I don't remember specifically. Named Margot, and she was I think she recently died. And I think we'll get more context as we go through it. These are some of the only TikTok videos I could find on the situation. I haven't watched all of them yet. If there's anything else we need to watch, we'll try to look into it more, maybe. But that's pretty much the gist of it. I think they did like a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe is a bit of there's some holes in the GoFundMe that they tried to do to cremate their Margot, their pet lizard or bearded dragon. But we're gonna start off here. Let's have a real talk, because content creators are fucking people. Roman Hawke uploaded this. This is a re-upload on TikTok because Roman Hawke's TikTok account was taken down. You can no longer view Roman Hawke's TikTok account. So this is a re-upload. I guess we'll just let's see what Roman Hawke has to say.
Let's have a real talk, because content creators are fucking people.
They are. I mean, I would agree with that. Content creators are people. A lot of people on the internet don't seem to realize that. Like, it's easy to just talk shit about someone when you're behind a screen, and like you have, like, a random person has anonymity online, whereas content creators have to show a little more of themselves. But yeah.
I never asked for a platform. I just made silly little videos with my lizard because I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny, and
I think there is a level of truth to that. I mean, according to Margot's been doing this for years. Sorry, Roman Hawke, not Margot. I mean, they've been doing content with Margot, the pet lizard, which they said in this video. But basically, yeah, there's a lot of people who blew up during COVID, specifically during 2020, because everybody was inside more. So even like the lowest form of effort of content could still blow up. Mid-tier content, some would say, or just mid content in general, would do a lot better because everyone was inside. No one had anything else to do other than be online, scroll through TikTok or any other social platform. And so a lot of kids blew up during COVID. They went through COVID. They never really matured much as a result. And they had their content blow up. And so that's probably what happened to Roman Hawke as a result. And now they are kind of just dealing with, I guess, what they were good in originally. And they seem to have like fallen off. Because that's what happens to a lot of people who blow up during COVID but can't really maintain that presence. Is they will blow up, and then they it sort of just like goes downhill from there once people started going back to work in person and people actually started like some people started going in the real world. But I think COVID did like irreparable damage to the world as we know it, because once people shifted to online, there are some people that could never get out of it, and we're still seeing a lot of that even in 2025 as of the date of this video.
It was entertaining. I never asked to blow up from her name is Margot. And ever since then, I have been put on this pedestal to create and put on a show and do marketing and do PR lists and do collabs while my grandmother was exploiting me.
Your grandmother was exploiting you? Wow. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna pretend like I know the certain twists and turns of the story, because I watched Papa Guts coverage already. Ugh, I'm slurring my words. But I'll try to. I think if I remember, I'll leave Papa Guts coverage of this in the description below. Definitely go check that out. I think he gives some very interesting insight to this. I don't remember, I don't know if the grandmother comes up very much in this story. As for the marketing and PR stuff, I mean, that's kind of just something you have to, I don't know, you could probably detach yourself from that. Because it's been years, like, content has to ebb and flow, you know, content is never the same. And I feel like if you make content and it remains the same, and you never try to take risks, you never try to, like, evolve it in some way, you never try to do anything different with it, once you go, like, continue to go and go, then, like, eventually it's just not gonna, you're not gonna do super well as a content creator. I mean, I know the content I'm making and the content I kind of evolved to is a little more lazy, I would say. It's reaction style content. It's not that difficult to do at all. And even then, I'm still gonna have to find ways to evolve it, as time goes on.
I didn't ask for any of this. And I just want you to imagine you are put on this pedestal with millions of people watching you, expecting one thing every single day, and you can't even do anything you like to do.
Like I said, I think content creators go through this. It's a very common thing that a lot of content creators go through. There comes a point where you kind of just have to say fuck it and do what you want to do. Like, obviously, you do cultivate an audience. When I did streaming on Dead by Daylight, once I started streaming other games, I noticed I wouldn't get as many viewers as I did when I streamed Dead by Daylight. When I stream Dead by Daylight, I noticed I tend to get a lot more viewership. And, like, it's easy to get very sucked into that because, like, you want to have more viewers, you want to be able to do better and stuff. Like, once you, like, cultivate an audience with a certain niche. But, like, it's not really, you gotta, there comes a point where you have to, like, grow out of it, you know? Like, you kind of have to just say fuck it and do what you want to do. Like I said, for a while, I started streaming Fallout New Vegas instead of Dead by Daylight. And, like, not as many people were chatting, not as many people were watching, but I enjoyed Fallout New Vegas. I did it because I was having a good time, and also Twitch wasn't, like, my main job. I mean, I didn't really have a job while streaming Twitch, but I still did it just because it was fun. But again, it's very easy to get sucked into that. So you kind of just have to, like, say fuck it and, like, you know, just do it. You know, it's going to suck at first, but there's something you can do to grow out of it.
Because they only want to see what they want to see. And they don't want to even know anything about you. Imagine you're a 17-year-old child. You're a child. And you join a little trend, and now you have millions of eyes watching you.
Listen, I feel like when you're filming a video of yourself crying and having, like, a breakdown on the internet, I don't know. If I were, I wouldn't be the, I wouldn't film it for TikTok to see. You know what I mean? Like, whenever I'm having a breakdown, like, obviously, I sometimes would, like, vent to friends or whatever. Nowadays, if I ever do have a breakdown, it's gonna be by myself. I don't fucking do it to anyone anymore. Like, it's, like, you gotta, I just wouldn't do it for the world to see. Like, I feel like this probably shouldn't have made it to the internet. You probably should have just, like, talked to a friend or talked to a trusted family member or just somebody. You know, like, anybody but, like, millions of people on the internet. Like, I do try to sympathize, but it's like, once you know what happens later in the story, which we'll get into when we get there, it's kind of hard to feel sympathy for this person. I guess I'll just clue you in now. Like, I don't know why I'm withholding it. Basically, later in this story, they try to do a fundraiser to cremate Margot, because Margot died. I don't have the original videos for Roman Hawke responding to this, unfortunately. I couldn't find it out of, like, the tons of videos I've tried to search through on TikTok. But, basically, they asked for $4,000, which is nowhere near the amount that it takes to cremate, like, a lizard. At most, it would probably be, like, $200 or $300, not $4,000. Which kind of led people to believe that they were just trying to get extra money to buy a fursuit for their OnlyFans. Which I think is probably the most reasonable thing. And that would by definition be scamming your audience, which is very scummy. So it's that's why it's kind of hard for me to feel bad for this person. I know I didn't clue you guys into that context earlier, but I don't know. I'm kind of just like doing it as I go.
You were a child. And then ever since you were a child, for 4 years straight, you have endured threats, you have endured doxing, you have endured exploitation, you have endured death threats with guns, with rape, with so much violence.
Apparently they also neglected Margot as well, like a lot, and this rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because Roman Hawke this sort of came off as like shifting the blame onto the audience and like trying to get people to sympathize with them. And like, don't get me wrong, obviously doxing and like a bunch of really nasty comments on the internet are never a good thing. That always sucks whenever that happens. There definitely comes a point where you kind of have to push past it a little bit, as it's easier said than done, obviously, when it's a lot of people doing it, and it's just a bunch of fucking keyboard warriors that feel justified in doing it, but, you know.
You get in detailed DMs about somebody is going to murder you. And then as soon as you get to be an adult and you're like, hey, I've had this hobby since I was a child. Ever since I was 11 years old.
What? Oh, the furry stuff.
Furry stuff. I've like these
the furry stuff. It's just like, I was like, until 11? Oh, yeah. I forgot this person is a OF furry model.
Anthropomorphic creatures because I love animals. I love dinosaurs. I love nature. And because of that, people hate you even more and want to harm you even more.
Well, I certainly wouldn't sleep with a furry, I'll tell you that.
I don't understand where we're going wrong with the actual fucking issues in the world with children dying. The absolute genocide in Gaza.
Okay. Word of advice. If you're trying to get people to feel bad for you in a TikTok breakdown video, which you probably shouldn't be posting on TikTok to begin with, mentioning an actual humanitarian crisis happening within Palestine and Palestinians getting genocided by the Israeli government and the IDF, probably not the best time to be mentioning that. It's not gonna be as effective as you think it will. Mr. or Mrs. Roman Hawke, because they're non-binary.
The absolute economy crisis in this world that I can't even have a 9-to-5 job to pay for a decent apartment that I have.
You know, like in hindsight, after watching that, it really does seem like they're trying to just guilt their audience into not like criticizing them. It's it is a little bit strange.
To exploit my body online to make my fucking bills. And just because I incorporate my little hobby in there to make some extra cash, I'm disgusting, and I deserve to die.
Well, you definitely don't deserve to die. That's obviously extreme. You shouldn't be listening to comments saying that online, for sure. You definitely don't deserve that.
You can ban from schools now for wearing a fucking costume, which...
Is that even true? I mean, like, you probably shouldn't be wearing costumes in school anyways, unless it's like a fucking Halloween party and the school, like, has, like, an event or something. Why would you be wearing a costume in school, like, on any other occasion anyways?
Nobody fucking does.
I'm not sure why this is a point, to be absolutely honest.
Sorry if someone barks at you. Get the fuck over it.
Get the fuck over it. I'm barking at you now. Oof. Okay. Alright. Yeah, you got it.
And then I'm sitting here told to get over it. It's not that serious because I'm upset about my death threats.
Well, you definitely, like, obviously death threats are serious. Like, just to be absolutely clear, you definitely don't deserve, like, death threats on the internet, for sure. There's definitely other things you deserve criticism of, but, there are definitely parts of this video that seem like you're trying to guilt your audience into stuff. I don't know.
Get your goddamn priorities straight and treat us like people. Content creators are people.
Alright. Well, so that was the main breakdown from Roman Hawke. There's this video I found from the same creator. I don't know if it's like any relevant to this story. It's only 11 seconds long. This is apparently also this is what Roman Hawke used to look like back in the day, back in 2021. And that video was from this year, the one we just watched. It was like from this year, but which is no longer available. It really like goes to show the massive amounts of change that they had to go through. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's all the pressure from being an OF furry model. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But I think there was a huge surge, and this is not really the case as much anymore, where back during, specifically COVID in 2020, there was a lot of people who, when they just turn 18, they'll start like an OnlyFans. We're not seeing that nearly as much nowadays. But back then, they do OF a bit, and they like it, you know, they enjoy it, they make good money out of it, but because that's like the only source of money they can make, because they blew up during making content creation and doing OF, they couldn't really find any other job necessarily. It was like one of their only sources of income, so they keep doing it and they keep relying on it, and I really think it's showing with Roman Hawke here over the past few years, is that they don't have any like actual real job. Or I would say like an actual like in-person job. They do it digitally, everything. So I'm trying to be respectful because I don't actually like hot take. I'm not someone who shames sex workers, by the way. Hot take. Sex work is a hustle. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not really shaming anyone for that. That's why I'm trying to be proportionate about it. I guess we'll check this video out. But yeah, this was from 2021 apparently.
First of all, never call her it. Second of all, if you don't see Margot, don't say she died. First of all...
Well, about that. About that. Yeah, so, like I said, Margot died, way later. I think it was this year. Oh, shut up! It was earlier this year. And they tried to get $4,000 off of their, whatchamacallit, the cremation process. This person made a video on it. This person also made a video on it. Yes, no, Gabby? I have no idea how to pronounce this. But I guess we'll watch their takes on it. These were some of the takes I could find off of searching the TikTok algorithm. Because I am curious. We'll definitely check these out. And I guess we'll just call it there for this video. I mean, once we're done watching both of these takes, unless we like really need to watch the other take. We'll see how we're feeling.
Who this Roman Hawke guy was until this week. I had never even seen the Margot video when it came out. Didn't find it interesting, whatever. I'm not going to talk about the whole Margot situation. I feel like everything that can be said about that has been said by people that understand it better than me. What I'm going to talk about is Roman Hawke and Lily Tino, and how we told y'all that misgendering Lily Tino was going to lead to situations like this, where anybody we didn't like, no matter how severe of whatever we think that they've done, people think that they can misgender them.
Yeah, that is true. There is a lot of people that justify misgendering, and it definitely comes from a place of like inner, like, I guess, prejudice, I would say. There's definitely a conversation to have about that. I think that I would agree with that. There are also instances where I don't really feel inclined to enforce it either. For example, I'm going to use the Birdie situation as an example. Birdie is a rabbit hole. I would watch Papa Guts coverage on it. I would also watch Lord Crust's video on Birdie. They're both very, very solid videos. But basically, just the short of it is that Birdie was a massive attention seeker, but apparently Birdie was like trans. But they were also aro-ace, they were gay, they were non-binary apparently as well, and also they preferred being called Lucifer. And it kind of just gets to a point where it's like, listen, I'm not like, it's not trying to be an asshole, but it's like there comes a point where you do it. It seems like you're doing it for attention, and like people who are actually trans, who are actually non-binary, just get a total bad representation from people like that who just do it just because it's attention-seeking behavior. So in situations like that, I'm not really going to enforce it because, but those are like pretty rare situations, I would say, albeit like you definitely shouldn't like normalize misgendering people 100%. I don't think that sort of thing should be normalized. And I don't think Roman Hawke is like doing any. I mean, I guess the breakdown video is sort of attention seeking, but I don't think their identity is necessarily, not from what I've seen. So,
even in their own community. Because tell me why I'm seeing trans people literally calling a Hawke, I think that's what he goes by, a she. Okay, just because I don't agree.
I mean, who knows if it's malicious or not? Like, do we know if they did it maliciously or if they just did it like, hey, it's a she. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that they were non-binary. Whoops, they. Because that does happen a lot. Like, if you do it by mistake, that's completely different.
With what he's done or think that he's not a great person doesn't mean that I'm going to misgender him and call him she. You're literally trans. Like, and, okay.
Well, they're non-binary, just to be absolutely clear. I don't know if this person knows that or not.
You're clocky. You're literally clocky, and you're coming on here calling him a she and being like, he doesn't even, like...
Non-binary.
Clocked.
Listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's like, if you don't even know that they're non-binary and you didn't, like, do research on the situation, like, are you even qualified to, like, sit on TikTok and just, like, I don't know. At that point, it almost comes off as a bit of a virtue signal, and, like, you don't actually care. Hey, Future Iconismus here. Just wanted to quickly interject and say that I did some research on their GoFundMe, because their TikTok and all their other socials are down or privated at the very least. So I couldn't find this information anywhere other than the GoFundMe, of all places. And turns out that Roman Hawke does go by he, him pronouns. So I think it's worth just adding this in just to quickly correct that. So turns out this TikTok content creator that I'm watching is correct. And that's pretty much all. So back to the main video. I'll keep watching though, and maybe I'll be a little charitable to this Gaby person.
It's like Lily Tino made y'all all think that you could just come on here and misgender whoever you don't like. I mean, we told y'all this was gonna happen, and it could happen to you next week. It could literally happen to you next week. So you do something somebody don't like, it could happen to you. I mean, not to mention that the lizard thing or whatever the animal was is not even the only reason that people are citing for the misgendering. They're also citing the fact that he is an adult worker, as if that has anything to do with it. The fact
Are people actually doing that? I mean, that's kind of fucked up. Like I said, the lizard thing is pretty fucked up. I mean, like, Roman Hawke objectively was like scamming their audience. Again, I couldn't find any other video covering this. Again, I'll just link Papa Guts' coverage of it in the description. You guys can watch Papa Guts' coverage of it. But they were asking for a lot more money that it takes to cremate their lizard than what it actually was, which kind of leads me to believe that they were just doing it for a new fursuit for their OnlyFans, which is very, very scummy. It's very scummy behavior.
that he's a furry, as if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if y'all know this, but like a big portion of your community is furries. Like, just, I mean,
is it really? I don't even know if that's true. Is there like really a big portion of like the LGBTQ like part of it? I have no idea. Okay, I mean, I don't think that's the... I don't even think that's true. I don't know.
I don't even know anybody personally, just from online I've seen. Like, there are a lot of trans furries on both ends of the spectrum, in between, and a lot of...
I think it's more of a terminally online thing. I don't really think it's like an actual reflection of the trans community as a whole.
Workers are also trans because of the market that there is.
Well, yeah, that is true. Like if people have a problem with trans or gay people or just anyone that identifies with LGBTQ, then you're just going to have to cut yourself off from all sorts of communities around the world in the real world, because there's a lot of people that do identify with that in the real world. You're going to have to cut yourself off from a big portion of the human race, or a fairly large portion of it anyways. So like that part is true, yes.
For something that is different, and a lot of people can only make money by showing their bodies like that. Like, it's just very strange how so many people, even in their own community, jump on the chance to misgender somebody else. Like, is this like internalized transphobia? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there is a level of truth to that. Like, it's very, very, there is some truth to that.
Enjoy doing to someone else what is being done to you because you're clocking? I don't know. Let me know.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better video explaining this situation, but, I guess not a terrible video. I've seen worse. Oh, well. Alright, this, Nost R, I thought that said Riz for a second, but, this person is, also talking about the Roman Hawke stuff, so I guess we'll watch it. I'm gonna speed this video up as well. Oh, it's already sped up. Nice.
Let's finish my makeup while I air out some of my opinions on the Roman Hawke situation. Now, I will say, while I do have a lot of opinions on the actual specific Margot situation, I just happen to have a lot more opinions on him as a person, and specifically as an influencer. Now, in regards to the specific Margot situation, I will say I do have two cats, 2 birds, 3 dogs, and 1 leopard gecko. So if I wanted to, I really could speak on it. However, I personally want to talk more about something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. So there's a video of Roman that I'm fairly certain has been deleted now, where he is stating that he did not sign up to be an influencer, and that he does not...
Yeah, it was the mental breakdown video that we saw earlier in this video, yep.
He did not consent to get all of the hate that he's getting. Now, as somebody who did blow up kind of unprompted, if you will, that is a load of horse shit. First of all, when you start a public profile on any platform, you are automatically consenting to the idea of it being seen by millions.
Yes, that is absolutely true. 100%. When you are doing content creation, and you put something out into the public, this doesn't even go for content creation. If you post something out in the public, you are essentially, like, people have the freedom to do whatever they want with it. They can comment on it, whatever they want. They can make edits of it if they want to. You are pretty much giving, like anyone can take anything, do anything with your video. If you don't want that to happen, then you shouldn't be in the online atmosphere to begin with. So yes, this is absolutely true.
You are automatically consenting to the idea of blowing up in general. And when you do actually blow up...
Yeah, the possibility of it anyways.
You have two options. You could either revel in the moment, enjoy it while it lasts, and move on, or you could decide to go the route of being an influencer. Now, I, much like Roman, did not initially think that I was going to blow up. Most of us don't go into...
What is even your profile? Hold on. Oh, you have like 152K. You're 19 years old? I'm gonna be honest, you did not look 19 years old. Holy fuck. Okay.
Being on TikTok at all, with the idea that we're gonna blow up. And a lot of the times when we do blow up, we actually have multiple chances to decide whether or not we want to continue with it. When I first blew up, I am putting on deodorant because I live in Las Vegas. Comment about it if you want to, but I really don't give a fuck.
Okay, whatever.
When I first blew up, I didn't want to be a TikToker. I didn't want to be an influencer. It was a video of me doing voices for my hero characters. And I was like 15, and I knew that it probably wasn't the best idea for me to stick with that. And so I didn't. I continued to just post whatever I wanted, but I didn't interact with an audience because I didn't want an audience. However, last year I blew up again, and that is when I decided that I was going to start taking this seriously. And that is exactly what Roman did. He decided to take
What a hell of a career choice, I guess.
it seriously and go the influencer route. And when you decide to go that route, you are automatically consenting to what comes.
I'm curious, did this person make content during, like, COVID? I mean, they said when they were 15, so that is 4 years ago. You're 19 now? Okay, yeah, so then that probably would check out. You're one of those creators that blew up during COVID, and I guess you still found your niche. I mean, if we look at your channel, right, like, I mean, I don't know, like, your videos do, like, alright, you know? Like, I don't think they're doing terribly, you know? You still get, like, thousands per video. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it seems fine. Cool.
With being an influencer. Much like how working retail, you automatically consent to the fact that you're going to have to be dealing with a lot of shitty customers. On the internet, you have to deal with a lot of hate. It's simply part of the job. However, the difference with influencing is that it is one of the most lucky jobs that a person can have in the world. You get paid.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a very privileged job to be able to do content creation and actually have, like, a following to financially aid your content creation. Yeah, it's definitely a very privileged job for sure.
To sit in front of a camera and talk. And yes, hate does come with that. And when you become an influencer, you're aware of the fact that hate does come with that. So yes, Roman, when you decided to be an influencer and you decided to go that route, you did consent to the hate. Now, obviously, none of us want to deal with the hate. None of us want to have to look into our DMs.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they wouldn't, like, they didn't do it with hate in mind, but essentially you kind of have to just, like, it sort of comes with the job, so you kind of have to always have it on the back of your head that you're always going to get hate. Like, listen, at any point during these reactions, if I give a take that people don't like, I'm always going to be open to people fucking dislike bombing the video or, like, flooding the comments in with a bunch of shit. Like, it is what it is, you know? You kind of just have to deal with it as you go. There's a lot of really dumb people on the internet. I'm a little narcissistic, though. I think most of the world is stupid. More than half the world's stupid. So maybe that makes me a little bit narcissistic, I guess. I don't know, but...
And see death threats and people saying that they hope we would kill ourselves. I'm not saying that the hate should be necessarily a part of the job. I'm just saying that it comes with it, so please do not twist my words. Because obviously, the hate can be a lot. It can be very, very draining. But it also comes from a place of privilege to receive that hate. Roman, again.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
When you decided to be an influencer, you consented to the fact that not everybody was going to like you. And that's fine. Not everybody needs to like you, okay? No matter how good or bad.
I mean, that is true. Not everyone needs to like you. It's, that's a very easy trap to go into when you do content creation, especially when you start off your content creation through, like, networking in communities and hanging out in communities, and you do it because you have, like, friends around you, or friends, in quotes, I'll say. It's very easy to get sucked into that trap where, you know, you do it because you're in, like, spaces that you enjoy and stuff. But, and, like, if one person doesn't like you or whatever, it can get to you a lot. At least in my case, it kind of was like that. Like, sometimes I would have, like, a person in the community who didn't really, like me very much when I was Twitch streaming. And then I would be like, oh, God, that sucks, you know? Like, I kind of never wanted it to get to this point. Because I'm not really that much of a hateful person, in general. But, you know, again, there kind of comes a point where you kind of just, like, you can't please everybody. You know, there's a lot of really dumb fucking people in the world, so...
of a person you are, there will always be haters and defenders online for you. But to come online the second that things get difficult and say, I did not sign up for this, is completely false. We may not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. I don't know. Is there anything else this video covers? I really, like, is this just going to be what the entire video is going to be for, like, 5 minutes?
Enjoy it, and we may not like it, but when we decide to be influencers, we all sign up for it. And you need to be especially aware of the hate that you're going to get if you decide to be a bad person and do bad things. Again, when you decide to be an influencer, you are agreeing and consenting to all eyes being on you. But to come online and say that you didn't
Pretty
sign up for
much.
this,
I mean, like, whenever you make a video, like I said, you know, it's... people can do whatever they want with it.
and you didn't want this, you weren't ready for this. Obviously, none of us want the hate, but you need to be prepared for it if you're going to be an influencer. Because it's, like I said, just simply part of the job. People will always find a reason to hate on you on the internet, no matter what it is that you do. People will always, always, always find a reason to hate on the internet. And if you can't handle it...
Okay, this video is fucking boring. Alright, I found this guy. I believe in Me Network. I guess we'll take a look and see what... shh. We'll take a look and see if this video... I don't know. I guess we'll take a look and see more about the lizard situation, because I think we've talked about the content creation thing enough. Like the last video, like it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of just like fucking boring. It's just like I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Like let's find the video actually talking about the lizard.
This is what a normal bearded dragon looks like, and this is what Roman Hawke's bearded.
Oh my god! Wait, hold on.
Normal bearded.
Yeah, like, okay, this is a normal, healthy, bearded dragon in, like, an environment that's suited for it.
Dragon looks like. And this is what Roman...
Oh my god, it's, like, so yellow. Like, is that even normal for a bearded dragon? Is that, like, normal for a lizard? Probably not, considering they're making, like, a video on this. Like, this is fucking insane. Is it normal? Hold on, I want to see something. Okay, so I'm looking at Google Images here. There's, like, a yellow bearded dragon here. There's like a couple of other like yellow lizards as well. I'm not really, hold on, if I go here, this is with AI overview, so yes, for many lizard species a yellow color is perfectly normal and can even be a desirable trait. Bearded dragons is among that list, so I don't know if it's necessarily a make or a break. Like at first glance it may seem bad, but like once you look into it, I don't know. But I mean, we do know that Roman Hawke neglected Margot a lot, so...
Roman Hawke's bearded dragon looked like when it died. I mean, the negligence is insane. I don't know why this isn't a crime. This bearded dragon didn't die of natural causes. I used to own a bearded dragon, and this is what it looked like.
Interesting.
This was her.
I mean, like, we have to understand that lizards can come in, like, all different forms of variations. So
this bearded dragon died because
they also do look a little bit obese, so like they don't look super healthy.
Was slowly killed by neglect disguised as love. This was overfeeding like it was a toy for clout. Look at the gut on this thing.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little more obese for sure.
Should not have a fat gut like that. Look at the tail. That's a fat tail. It even has fat under its arms. This was chronic negligence. This was not an accident. And all the money that this person made for the clout. Look at that. Look, that's like a sack of potatoes. No lizard should die like this. Not to mention the piercings that this thing ate and supposedly ripped its uterus. What? Do lizards even have uteruses? And a lot of people were mentioning to Roman that this thing was overweight. Margot was overweight, but he didn't listen. She didn't listen. They just kept making videos. This thing must have been...
It definitely seemed like they got a little bit too content creator brained.
Been in pain and hurting for months. This was cruelty. This is what a normal...
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, like, listen, I think that's pretty much everything we need to know about the Roman Hawke situation. This situation seemed kind of interesting. I was curious about it.
And this is what Roman Hawke's bearded dragon...
My guy, come on, stop it! Yeah, so, like, as I said, like, yeah, this is the Roman Hawke situation. They tried to scam their audience into buying more fursuits for their OnlyFans, and it seems like there were definitely signs that they were neglecting, or at least content creator brain first, before caring about their pet lizard, which ultimately caused her to die. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. It definitely a very fucked up situation for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's once you learn about, it's crazy. I mean, the furry stuff is like whatever. I don't care too much about furry stuff. It's laughable at best, but it's like whatever. The definitely, I think when you look up to what built to this situation, like the OF stuff, like becoming a content creator during COVID, it definitely checks out. Like the timeline seems to check out, like with everything else. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Kind of a fucked up situation.